what we're doing today is an activity where we're trying to show you the difference between one idea, which we're going to say is, let's do this. Yes, this is the idea that we're trying to teach you. There's also going to be some things in this no category which are not the idea, and you're going to try and recognize which falls under yes and which falls under no.
Because Lee's class had not participated in a concept attainment lesson before, we decided to preface our actual data set with a sample data set. This sample data set that you can see is about verbs in our yes column, and we contrasted the verbs with words of other parts of speech.
Okay, so all of these words on the yes column have something in common that you're looking for. And they are different from the types of words in the no column. So even if you don't know, right now what I'm going to ask you to do is to talk with a partner and discuss your idea as to what do the words in the yes column have in common and why don't the words in the no column fit with the idea. So just with a partner you can discuss for about 30 seconds. Share your ideas, and then I'm going to ask for some of your...
Something
And now that students had the hang of concept attainment, we moved on to the real data set, parallel structure. And we did it all on the overhead so that students didn't have to copy out the yes and no examples, because it's not a good idea for ESL students to copy out sentences that aren't grammatical. Some students had heard of parallelism before because I had corrected it in their writing, but we hadn't explicitly done a lesson in class on the topic. We hope the concept would be challenging and useful for them.
Okay, so it's the same kind of thing. We're going to have yes examples and no examples. And please don't yell it out. It's important in this activity that everybody gets a chance to think about it and try to understand it. That's part of the activity, okay? So, we've got one yes example and one no. Emily is a teacher and a mother. That is an example of this concept. Mike is known for his confidence, enthusiasm, and he is intelligent. That is not an example. And I'm going to ask you in a moment, why are these incorrect? And what do these sentences do really well that these ones do not? The yes example. This is a correct sentence. My brother prefers luxuries like eating good food and wearing nice clothing. That's a good sentence. Not as good. Nancy walked out the front door and sees a bear, a black bear. We're looking here at not what the sentence is about, but it's a grammar point. It's the structure of the sentence that we're really focusing on. Let's see our thumbs up. Thumbs down. And in the middle? Okay. Let's have a moment. Do the think, pair, share again. Turn to your partner and just share. What do you think is the difference between these two types? Talk about it.
Lee and I had done our previous concept attainment assignment together, and we found this class was able to keep their ideas to themselves instead of whispering or shouting out their answers. And they were able to do this until we were given the class an opportunity to share their ideas with each other. And as you can see by the footage, the class is actively engaged, and most students seem very interested in finding a solution to this activity. Lee, do you think there's anything that we should have changed about our assignment?
Well, Emily, I wouldn't change much, but I noticed that a few students didn't catch on quite as quickly as the others. I think a preview of this lesson a few days earlier might have been the front loading that would have helped everybody be as engaged as possible in this activity.
Raise your hand if we haven't talked about it a lot, but we have mentioned this idea, this concept. Raise your hand if you know. Natalie, do you know what it's called?
I'm not sure, but I think in the right column we have a lot of grammatical problems.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and these ones don't, right?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you could add a little bit to what Natalie said. Yeah, Reza?
For example, in sentence number 1, the word, the noun and adjective is not, stable. Mike is known for his confidence, is enthusiastic, and his intelligence.
Okay. So it doesn't follow a pattern. It's
Yeah.
not stable, as you said. That's good. Good way of putting it. In a minute. But first, let's just focus on the concept. There is a name for this type of sentence structure. I heard a couple people say it. Raise your hand if you think you know the name for that. Chloe? Yeah, parallelism or parallel structure. So I'm just going to write that at the top. Parallel structure or parallelism, same thing.
For phase 3, we extended our lesson by having students correct the no examples from our concept attainment data set. All of these sentences lacked parallelism, and we gave the students the opportunity to work individually or in groups. After that, we corrected the worksheet together as a class, and we found that by the end of our lesson, the students had a good grasp of the concept of parallelism. Lastly, we gave our students an exit slip and asked them to rate how engaging and effective our lesson was. We found that 25 out of the 30 students rated us 5 out of 5 for an engaging and useful lesson, and most had positive feedback on their comment sheets. Some of the comments were as follows.
It was different and very useful for our understanding. Thank you. It was definitely helpful to me and I really appreciate it. The technique that you used to teach us was really great. Thank you. It was interesting to me. Please do it again in our classes.
Of the constructive criticism we received, the most useful comment we got was, "It's easier to fix sentences, but when you write them on your own, it's harder." We think the student might have found this activity too easy, and as a result, Lee may follow up with a more open-ended activity, having the students produce their own sentences rather than just correcting mistakes.
Overall, we thought it went really well. The students were engaged and found it useful. Thanks for watching!